begin. So we'll go ahead and just start out standing today. We're going to be doing a bunch of standing postures, then we'll come down to the ground, get some nice stretch and some rest. So allow yourself to find your stable, comfortable standing position, whatever that looks like for you. You can have your feet closer together, they can be farther apart, hips width distance apart. Maybe you close your eyes or just have a soft gaze at the ground. Start to sway gently from side to side as you turn your attention toward the breath. Find that smooth, even flow of breath. In and out through the nose. Softening any areas or rough patches where the breath may stick or catch along the way. Begin to find that continuity in the breath. So the inhale just turns into the exhale. The exhale turns back into the inhale without any pause, without any gaps. And you can continue to sway from side to side if you'd like, or not. We'll begin to get some movement into the shoulders. So rolling the right shoulder up, then back and down, and then the left. Whether you're standing still or swaying. Alternating shoulder rolls. Preparing the body for this movement today. One more round of breath here. Pausing in stillness. We'll drop the right ear toward the right shoulder. Get a few half circles across the chest. Chin rolls to the chest, left ear toward the left shoulder. And then back. And back again. Take your time. Maybe you inhale in one direction. Maybe you inhale as you bring the ear toward the shoulder and exhale as you bring the chin toward the chest. The next time you find that ear toward the left shoulder, or chin if you're turning your head to the side, maybe we make some circles coming upright, chin to the sky, right ear to right shoulder. 2 more times, chin to the sky, left ear to left shoulder. Back to the right. Again, take your time. Allow that breath to be slow, smooth, even, deep, and continuous. And then the next time that left ear is toward the left shoulder, we'll roll the chin to the chest and stand up nice and tall. Start to notice if there's anything that's taking your attention, your focus, or your practice off of your mat. You want to take a few moments to clear those distractions, whether they're sounds, whether they're sights, whether they're mental or internal distractions, particularly the internal ones. So beginning to allow yourself to gather them up as they present themselves and send them off to the distance or place them in a mental storage space, yogi's choice. And as we do this, we'll get some movement into the ankles and the toes, lifting, alternating heels. Each inhalation gathering distractions. Each exhalation sending them into that storage space to be dealt with later. Sending them off into the distance or someplace where you won't have to find them again if they're things that you don't need to keep, that you don't need to come back to. One more set here. Pausing in stillness with the feet at the ground. Let's take a moment to set our intention. Go ahead and bring the hands to heart center, or bring one hand over the heart and one hand over the abdomen, whatever seems most natural to you. Notice if you're holding tension in the body. So if you're clenching or you're pressing the feet into the ground, or you're pushing the hands together or hunching the shoulders, see if you can soften there first. Allow yourself to be stable, to already feel that sense of stability. Connection to the ground as the crown of the head kind of grows toward the sky. Ability to have some fluidity in your movement. From this space of stability and fluidity, set your intention. One more breath right here. With your next inhalation, we'll bring the hands up overhead. As you exhale, lean towards your right, drawing the fingertips toward the right side of your root. Inhale through center, exhale to your left. Continue, inhale to center, fingertips come up toward the sky. Maybe you separate the hands, maybe not. Exhale towards your right. As you inhale, draw up, a little engagement of those muscles in the core of the body, particularly through the obliques. Over to the left. One more time. Drawing yourself up to your right. Slowly inhaling up, exhaling to your left. Inhale to center. Exhale, hands find their way back to heart center. We'll separate the feet, coming through for a few rounds of our breath of joy. You can continue to repeat your intention as you do this or not. So if you don't recall, I think everyone who's in the class today has practiced this with me before, but our breath of joy, we take a 3-part inhalation. So the arms will come in front, to the sides and overhead. That's all inhale. And then we take a big exhale as we fold forward. So just be mindful that you're doing this with control so we don't strain anything, and give yourself the ability to grow that breath. So we don't want to take a big full inhalation the first time because you've got 2 more to go. So allow yourself to fill nice and slowly all the way into that diaphragmatic breath. When you are ready, soften behind the knees. Let's take an exhale together to prepare. Inhale, 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 inhale. Forward, side, overhead, fold. Forward, side, overhead, fold. Inhale, 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 exhaling to fold. Inhale, inhale, inhale. 2 more. Allow yourself to find your ragdoll in this forward fold. Settle into it a little bit more. Grabbing opposite elbows if you'd like. Allowing the fingertips to graze the ground if you would prefer. The palms resting at the ground. Maybe you sway gently from side to side. Maybe not. And allow your hands to release. Fingertips coming to the ground or palms to the ground. A block between the feet. We'll come into a standing twist. So if you prefer to have the hand resting against a wall in front of you, that would be a great option as well. We'll allow your left hand to remain at the ground. Bring your right hand to the hip, the low back, or the sky. In these first couple, we're not going to hold here. Inhale as you bring the hand down. Exhaling into your twist. Inhale, switch hands. Exhale, twist. Inhale, switch hands. Exhale, twist. One more time on each side, waking up those spaces in the body. And the next time you find yourself opening to the right, we'll hold for 2 full breaths. With your next inhalation, slowly release that right hand to the ground. And as you exhale, that left hand finds the sky. 2 full breaths here. Reset into your fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale here. We'll do our cat and cows from a standing position. So as you come into your cow posture, see if you can really kind of draw up and in. So we want to kind of draw energy like from the tailbone to the crown of the head, sort of more of an abdominal squeeze, and then allow yourself to release and stretch the back in your cat pose. So you can have the hands at the shins, the thighs, whatever works better for you. Probably a little soft bend in the knees, and when you're ready, inhaling into that cow. Exhaling back into your cat. Inhale as you open up into your cow pose. Exhale, rounding back into your cat. 3 more breaths here. So this abdominal squeeze, when we really focus on it, really concentrate on it, really get into a deep abdominal squeeze, has a name. It's a mudra called Agnisara, but we're not quite there yet. We'll probably come into that a little later. 1 more breath. Find your flat back. Straightening the legs a little bit if you'd like, sink back into your fold. With an inhalation, we'll find our way into a little squat. Again, we're not going to hold. We want to warm up the joints in the body as you exhale, straighten into your forward fold. Or more of a half lift, you decide. Find your way into your little squat. And then with the other half of the breath, your fold. So what works better in your body? Do you prefer to inhale into your little squat and exhale into your fold, or the other way? Right now, we're just getting movement into the hips, into the knees. Getting a little movement and stretch through the low back. Last breath right here. Find your way into your squat once again, and we'll press up, fingertips to the sky, arms out to the sides, reaching for the right side of your room. Inhale to center, exhale, reach for the left. And keep the arms about shoulder height. Two more times here. Last set here. Coming back to center, exhale, kind of a windmill towards your right leg. Inhale as you press up. Exhale into your left side windmill twist. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhaling into your fold. 2 more on each side. You complete that next left and come up. Bring the hands back to heart center and allow the feet to come closer together, preparing for chair pose. So maybe you have the toes touching each other, maybe you allow a little gap between the feet. Start with the hands at the heart. We'll shift the weight toward the heels, allowing the sit bones to sink back just a little bend and then straighten. Just find your space of stability. So we want the weight to come toward the heels and then bend, keeping those knees back more in line with the ankles. Maybe with each round you get a little closer to the ground, but maybe not. Low back tension is going to help, or is going to prevent the tailbone from sinking closer to the ground, as well as any issues in the knees. So just do what works for you. We want that sensation. We are going to hold here for a little bit to get into the strengthening portion of our chair pose. With your next exhalation, let's pause here. Allow that weight to come toward the heels a little bit more. So think of the positioning of the legs as if you were holding a lemon, I guess, in between the knees. A very precious golden lemon that you don't want to lose. With your next inhalation, let's bring those fingertips out in front, allowing the arms to come slightly overhead or straight out in front, whatever works in your body. Allow the tailbone to sink toward the ground a little bit more. Navel center draws toward the spine a bit. 2 more breaths right here. Remember, or not is always an option. If your body requires you to come out of the posture sooner, please do so. With your next exhalation, we'll slowly fold forward, giving those legs a little break. One more breath here. As we inhale, let's find our way back into that chair pose. You can leave the hands at the heart. You can have the hands out in front. We're going to take about 6 more breaths here. Or not. With your next exhalation, let's fold forward. Always remember to honor where the body is today. Flat back with an inhalation. With your next inhalation, we'll come all the way up. Fingertips to the sky, hands at heart center. Take a big step back with that left foot, setting up for your triangle pose, Trikonasana. We're going to use that as a little bit of a counter to our chair pose, and then we'll be doing more long hold standing postures. So feet as wide as they need to be to set up for your triangle. You can have more of a tightrope where the center of the heel, front heel, is in line with the center of the arch of the foot. If that's unstable for you, allow the back foot, probably your left leg, to come forward a little bit so you have a little more of a tripod type space. Bring the fingertips out to opposite sides of the room. Big inhalation. As you exhale, reach for the wall in front of you and be mindful that you have some softness in that front knee. And then allow yourself to drop into that triangle posture. Your gaze can come up overhead. Your gaze can stay neutral. Your gaze can come down to the ground. The hand can rest at the ground on top of the foot. You can place it on the shin, but a better option would be to use a block or a book or a folded blanket of some sort. One more breath right here. With your next exhalation, let's bring both hands down. Pivot onto those left toes. We'll find our way up into our lunge with an inhale. Fingertips to the sky. Pressing that left heel toward the wall behind you a bit. Maybe you bend back a little bit. Let's get about 3 breaths here. This is starting to challenge the balance a bit. Last breath right here. Inhale, come up to the original lunge. Exhale, elbows cactus. So we're not releasing the legs unless the body is screaming at you to do so. 3 more breaths here. Elbows kind of drawing toward the wall behind you. About shoulder height, maybe a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher. With your next exhalation, we'll allow the arms to drop alongside the body. Straighten the front leg. You might need to hop the back leg forward, closer, maybe not. We'll come into our standing pyramid pose. Interlace the fingers behind the low back, folding over that extended leg, or leave the hands at the hips or the thighs. If you have the hands interlaced behind the low back, maybe you begin to lift the hands off of the low back. So yogi's choice. You can also, if you're just folding forward, bring the fingertips toward the ground, or to the ground, I should say. If they don't touch the ground, then they're not really helping you to stabilize. Just noticing those stretches, releasing a bit of any tension that may have built while we were working with those lunges. 1 more breath here. And as you inhale, find your way back into your lunge, bending that right knee, lifting that left heel, fingertips to the sky, or not. We'll take another 6 breaths, maybe in that back bend, maybe just nice and straight. Three more breaths here. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. With your next inhalation, find your way back upright. Exhale, cactus arms. And this time we'll twist a little bit. Exhaling to the right. Inhale to center, exhale left. Inhale, center, 5 more times. This will begin to challenge your balance, probably. Last 2. Last one here. Find your way back to neutral. We'll straighten both legs this time. Turn so the toes face the long side of your mat. You can have the shoulder rinse again if you'd like, bringing the hands to the low back, or maybe you fold forward, bringing the hands to the ground, or catching index and middle fingers on opposite toes. Three more breaths here. With your next inhalation, find that half lift. Exhale here. As you inhale again, slowly peel up. Exhale here. And we'll pop up to the top of the mat with an inhalation, finding whatever mountain pose works for you. Hands at the heart, arms alongside the body, yogi's choice. And just take a moment in your mountain pose to notice the difference between the right and the left sides of the body. With your next round of breath, we'll take a big step back with your right leg, allowing that left knee to bend this time. I'm sorry, not allowing the left knee to bend. We'll straighten that left leg, setting up for our triangle. Something that didn't quite seem right. All right, so setting up for your Trikonasana or triangle pose on this side. Once again, maybe you choose to have the center of that heel lined up with the center of the arch of the foot on the back leg. If that doesn't feel stable for you, you can have a little difference between them. That will tend to stabilize you a bit, or you can and just have your back toward a wall or have something nearby that you can catch yourself on should you need to. Bring those arms out to opposite sides of the room, reaching until you can reach no more. And when you get to that point, allow that left hand to find the ground or the foot or a block or bolster, maybe the shin, but just be mindful if you're using the shin, you want to stay away from the knee joint, not on the ankle joint, but probably closer to that space to avoid creating any strain on the knee. Let's get 2 more breaths here. Last one here. With your next exhalation, you'll allow those fingertips to come down to frame that foot. Roll those right toes onto the ground. Bending into that left knee, find that lunge. So if lunge is absolutely not available to you, you probably already sorted this out on the last side, but might not be available to you on this side, but it was on the other. You can, first of all, have a more shallow bend in the knee if the issue is something pertaining to the knee, but you can come into more of a warrior stance, allowing that right heel to come to the ground. So with our lunge, we actually are lifting that back heel, but that back leg is nice and straight, and we've still got a lot of strength in this front leg. Let's go ahead and bring those fingertips to the sky if you haven't already done so. If you're choosing to, you can also leave the hands alongside the body or bring them to the low back. With an inhalation, little back bend if that's available. 4 more breaths. With your next inhale, slowly find your way back up. Nice straight back. As you exhale, let's bring the elbows to the sides, cactus arms. 5 breaths here. Big, full diaphragmatic breaths. With your next exhalation, allow the arms to drop. Start to bring that back heel to the ground. Maybe you bring the feet closer together, maybe not. Maybe the hands come to the low back. Maybe they stay at the hips or the thighs. Sinking forward into your pyramid pose, your wide stance pyramid pose. Fingertips can rest at the ground. If you have the hands behind the low back, I would encourage you to maybe lift the hands off of the low back, getting a little shoulder rinse. They may not lift very far depending where your body is today. And if it doesn't work for you, release them. Let's get 1 more breath right here. With your next inhalation, slowly wind your way back up into your lunge. Fingertips find the sky. 6 breaths, either fingertips at the sky or in that little back bend. Two more breaths here, or not. Remember your or not if that doesn't work for you. Last full breath. Inhale as you slowly come up, cactusing your arms. With your next 3 breaths, exhale towards your right, or left, excuse me. Inhale to center, exhale right. Inhale, center. Exhale to your left. Inhaling to your center, exhaling to your right. Inhaling to center. 2 more. Remember your or not. Last set. Find your way back to center. Straightening both legs, arms come down. We'll turn once again. So the toes point toward the long side of the mat. For our wide stance forward fold, yogi's choice. Hands at the low back, interlacing the fingers. Maybe you catch opposite hands, opposite wrists, or opposite elbows. Maybe you leave the hands at the hips, folding forward, catching behind the ankles, or wrapping the index and middle fingers around the big toes. Maybe the palms come to the ground or the forearms come to the ground as you fold forward. Whatever variation on this wide stance forward fold works in your body. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. With your next inhalation, fingertips find the space between the feet. Slowly come up, nice flat back. Pause for a moment. And as you inhale, we'll slowly press up. Turning, so both sets of toes point toward the top of the mat-ish. And then pop up to the top of your mat, finding your mountain pose. Hands can be alongside the body or hands at the heart. Feet firmly planted but not pressing into the ground. Crown of the head grows to the sky. Shoulders soft away from the ears. Finding that space that you found at the beginning, stability with lightness. One more round of breath right here. Let's bring the hands to heart center. Shift the left foot back. Maybe the toe touches, and we'll bring it forward. We're going to work with balance, so if you're not near a wall or a chair or anything that you may know that you want to use for a standing balance pose, I would encourage you to reset and turn so you can, I'm facing you a little more. 2 more times, just like this. Now the next time we come back, let's start to hinge at the hip, leaning forward and then come back up. Allow that foot to come out in front. Exhale as you hinge at the hip, toes come back, maybe they're toward the ground, maybe not. Inhale as you come up. 2 more. Last one. And then we'll fold and hold. So maybe the hands stay at the heart, maybe they grow out in front of you or toward the wall behind you. Your next exhalation. Allow your back foot to come down, folding into your pyramid pose or not. One more breath here. Let's leave those fingertips framing that right foot, shifting into more of a standing split. Toes coming toward the sky. Crown of the head growing toward the ground. One more breath right here. And as you exhale, that knee comes in. We'll place the feet side by side. Round in the back as you roll up. Keeping the chin tucked until you're all the way upright. And then slowly roll the crown of the head to the sky. We'll switch sides as we do that again. So the hands can come to the heart. You can have them at the hips if you prefer. Let's bring those toes out in front and then back. Forward, back. Working on establishing that gaze point, that drishti. And again, maybe the toes tap. Let's get 2 more rounds of breath here with this movement. And then next time we bring that foot back, we'll come into our little fold and then come up. Toes come out in front if you can. Exhale back. Inhale as you come up, drawing those toes out in front. Exhaling as you find your way into your fold. Inhaling as you come up, toes out in front. 2 more like that. Last one here. Last one with movement. And then we'll sink forward, holding 3 or 4 breaths. With your next exhalation, allow the hands to find their way to the ground. That right foot finds its way back into your little pyramid pose. One more breath here. Slowly shift into your standing split or not. Remember, you can stay in that pyramid. 3 breaths in the standing split if you're choosing to take it. Last one here. As you exhale, the knee comes into the chest. Let's allow those feet to come side by side, sink into a forward fold. Slowly round up. Once the spine is straight, the crown of the head comes up toward the sky. Neck nice and safe. So let's bring alternating heels up. Just getting some movement through the feet. You may have noticed a little tension building in the feet as we came through our balancing postures. So we're not quite done with balance. We just want to make sure that we give the feet, the toes, the ankles some time to readjust. We'll be doing some lifting to the toes, sinking into chair pose, and we'll try and lift the ankles off of the ground in our chair. So if you need to adjust any props or any setup in your room to accommodate that, you can take a moment while we do this to do that. We'll pause the lifting and lowering of alternating heels. Let's shift the weight into your right foot, bringing the left foot off of the ground, and just kind of swirl that leg around from the knee down as if you were using the lower portion of the leg to stir something. Pausing, going the opposite direction. We'll pause, allow that leg to extend out and just kind of sweep the leg side to side in front of you, getting some side to side movement through the hip. Last breath here. Feet come side by side and we'll switch. Weight comes into your left leg, lifting the right foot off of the ground or allowing the toes to remain at the ground. And we just try and kind of swirl from the knee down, as if you were stirring with the lower portion of the leg. Pausing in stillness, go the opposite direction. We'll pause, allow that leg to straighten, and get those side kicking movements. Allowing that outside of the hip, the outside of the thigh, to get a little movement in there. 2 more. Last one here. Breath, excuse me. And pause in stillness. Setting up for that last round of chair. So since we are going to be coming up and down off of the heels, you may not, I actually would recommend that you not try and have the feet exactly side by side. If you've done something like this before and you know that works in your body, that's great, but we want to be able to maintain our balance, but also not put undue strain on the muscles and ligaments and tendons and whatnot in the ankles and the feet. So when you're ready, we'll start by just lifting and lowering the heels. So inhale, lifting up toward the toes. Exhale, lower down. Notice how that feels in the body. Are you tending to roll toward the outside or the inside of the foot? You want to be able to be nice and even, nice and straight. So if you're unable to lift toward the toes without shifting inside or outside, then just offer yourself alternating heel lifts throughout this. One more time with just the lift and lower. And now we'll lift, heels come down, and we sink into a chair pose. Straightening, you can bring the arms up ahead, overhead, excuse me, or leave them at the heart. So if you like to have the arms out in front, you may choose to bring the fingertips to the sky as you lift. If you prefer hands at the heart for your chair pose, then it will probably make more sense to leave them there throughout, but you certainly don't have to. So we'll come up again into our chair, and now see if you can lift one or both heels while you're in your chair, rolling the feet back down. I shifted the feet to the outside, so that's something we want to not do. Just being aware of that. So as you come into your chair pose, you want to try and lift the heels, but stay even and stable. Release, lift up onto or toward the toes, and sink back. Lifting the heels without shifting in or out. Drop the heels as the fingertips come up, lift. 2 more like that. If it works in your body, again, if this does not work in your body, if this strains, if there's pain, if there's tingling, if there's numbness, if there's burning, particularly around the joints, or something that feels like more than just muscles working, we want to stop. So we'll come back into our chair pose if that's available to you, lifting the heels again. If that's available to you, 3 full breaths right here. Last one here. Release the heels, straighten the legs, folding forward. You can separate the feet so they're a little bit wider if you would like, or not. Let's catch the index and middle fingers around the big toes, if that's available to you. If that is, in fact, available to you, then maybe you allow the elbows to bend toward opposite sides of the room as you sink or draw yourself into a little bit deeper. 3 more breaths here. Softness behind those knees. With your next inhalation, let's release. Come up to a nice half lift, flat back. Again, hands can be wherever they need to be. The shins, the thighs, maybe the fingertips remain at the ground as you flatten the back. With your next exhalation, we'll bring the hands under the feet so we can come into our gorilla pose. Rolling forward. Three more breaths here. With your next inhalation, slowly release one hand at a time. As you exhale, we'll find our way into our tabletop. Nice and easy. Knees side by side. Get a little side to side movement. Just drawing hip toward shoulder and shoulder toward hip. Moving side to side across the body. Completing that last round, pause in stillness. We'll bring your right leg straight back. Just allow those toes to come across the body, resting that foot on the left side of your mat. You can stay right here, turn your gaze back over that shoulder toward that foot. And stretch to the outside of the hip, outside of the waist. Three more breaths here. With your next inhalation, slowly unwind. Reset your table. Swaying side to side if you would like or not. Pause in stillness. This time that left foot will come straight back, drawing the leg across the body. Allow the top of the foot to rest on the right side of your mat. And again, maybe you like to turn the gaze back to look over the shoulder. Have that foot resting on the ground or not. Take about 5 more breaths here. As you inhale, we'll slowly come back through center. Reset your table. Find your way to your seat. You can roll over crossed ankles, sweep the legs out to the side, whatever works for you. If you're using a strap for seated folding postures, I would encourage you to grab that now. If you don't already have it. If you're not, you don't really need to. We're just going to reach for the legs. So if you know that that's not going to benefit you, don't worry about that. If you like to prop up on a blanket, you can do that as well. So if we're using the strap, we'll go ahead and get it in our hands. We'll start with just a basic seated forward fold, but we're going to allow the stance to adjust a little bit wider than we would normally when we're standing, or even in many of our seated folds. So just bringing the feet out toward opposite sides of the mat. We're going to find our way into some side bends and twists, and this helps us to facilitate that a little more easily without having to change our positioning between each phase. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, folding forward. If you're using the strap, allow the strap to wrap around both legs. We don't want to pull forward with the strap. So that's something that tends to happen. The hands will cramp and you want to come out of it. Really, the strap just allows us to have that connection to the feet and to kind of keep ourselves shifting forward. But we want to try and have the stretch come from the hinge at the hips, the falling forward of the chest. Gravity helps us to create the stretch. So it's a pretty light grasp on that strap. Let's take about 5 more breaths right here. If it's available to you to sink a little bit more, maybe allowing yourself to drop a little closer to the ground or to the legs. Maybe the hands touch the outsides of the feet or the toes, or even wrap around the feet without hunching the shoulders forward. We're not rolling the shoulders up toward the ears to reach. Notice how that shifts the stretch in the legs, how that shifts the stretch elsewhere in the body. Maybe navel center draws toward the spine a bit. Just take about 3 more breaths right here. You're using the strap, allow it to release from that left foot. Turning to face that right leg, folding over the right leg. Both pieces of the strap. Again, soften the hands. If you're not using the strap, that's okay too. And we're actually going to open up into more of a side bend here. So allow the strap to simply remain in the right hand, both pieces, or if you're touching the toes or the foot with the right hand, you can stay there. And we'll bring that left hand to the hip or the low back. The gaze coming over the left shoulder, and just be mindful that we don't want to roll toward that right hip. Keep that stability, keep the forward fold, and open up. Maybe you sink a little bit more, maybe not. Maybe having the hand behind the back or at the hip doesn't work for you. But what does work is to bring the arm up and over, allowing that top hand to catch the toes. So again, we want to try and keep the shoulders stacked. We're not turning into a forward fold, continuing the side bend, but if it's available to you to bring that arm up and over to catch the toes, that's another option. Your gaze can come to the ground as well. You can gaze out over that right foot. Let's take about 2 more breaths. With your next inhalation, we'll release a bit, finding your way into sort of a halfway up position. And as you exhale, switch sides. So if we're using the strap, we'll bring the strap into the left hand. The right hand comes behind you. You can rest it at the ground or bring it to the back of the body. You can also have the hand wrapping around the front of the foot, hook Index and middle fingers around the big toe. It can rest on the shin or the ankle. Maybe the hand touches the outside, left hand on the right side of the left shin or the right side of the left foot. Getting ourselves into a nice little twist, and maybe that gaze comes over the right shoulder. Or not. What can you release here? What are you letting go? We hold a lot of old stored stuff in the hips and a lot of current stress and tension in the shoulders. What can you release? What can you get rid of? We'll take about 3 more breaths here. Remembering your or not, if your body is telling you to come out of this sooner, go ahead and do that. With your next exhalation, slowly begin to unwind, finding your way back to center. If you're using the strap, we'll get the strap back around both feet and then slowly come up to sit. We're just going to take a moment or two to notice, again, the difference between the left and the right sides of the body. We just spent a bunch of time focusing on that right side. So notice how the right and the left legs feel different, how the right and the left arms feel different. Right and the left sides, the back, the chest. All slightly different from each other. When you are ready, we'll switch sides. Let's allow that strap to leave the right leg, or if you're not using the strap, you don't have to worry about that. As you exhale, we'll fold forward over that extended left leg. Again, hands at the strap, nice soft hold. Or hands at the toes, or at the shin, wrapping around the foot, wherever your body takes you. Again, we don't want to hunch up and reach around to try and get there. Allow yourself to simply fall into whatever variation of the posture your body needs. Let's take about 5 more breaths here. With your next inhalation, we'll slowly unwind so that right hand can come to the hip, the right hand can come to the low back. And you're turning so you're in more of a side bend. Continuing to fold over that extended left leg. You want to feel some stretch coming up the right side of the body. Give it a breath or two here. If you already know that it's more beneficial in your body to bring that right arm up and over, go ahead and do that. If that doesn't work in your body, don't worry about doing that. We'll take about 4 more breaths here, if that's available to you. Remember, if not, don't worry. You can always opt out. With your next exhalation, go ahead and fold over that left leg. Then find your way into your twist. So we'll inhale here, and as you exhale, left hand comes back. The ground next to or behind the body, wrapping across the back of the body. That right hand can rest at the toes, it can rest at the shin, the ankle, maybe it catches that left edge of the left foot. Where is your body right now, today? Take about 5 breaths. With your next round of breath, inhaling as you allow that left hand to find the ground. Exhale here. Inhale as you very slowly unwind from that fold with the twist, gathering up anything that you will need to find comfort and ease in your rest. Slowly find your way into your resting pose. So maybe you're coming to rest in Shavasana, in which case you'll just allow yourself to roll back. So legs extended long, arms alongside the body. Maybe you place blankets underneath the knees, underneath the hips, behind the head. Maybe you prefer rest in what's sometimes referred to as half Shavasana. So the soles of the feet come to the ground with the knees pointing toward the sky. Arms again alongside the body, shoulders softening toward the mat. You can rest on your side if that's preferable. You can find your way to crocodile pose, resting on your abdomen, or maybe you choose to come to a seat, sitting in a chair, sitting back against a wall. You need to put socks on, place an eye pillow or some other cover over the eyes, cover with a blanket, or need anything else to facilitate that restfulness in your body. I encourage you to go ahead and do so now. Just give yourself another breath or two. If there's any area that feels like it needs a little attention, give yourself a few breaths to come into any alternating stretches that you might need before you come into your resting pose, your resting phase. Once you're there, just settle and soften. Bring that awareness back to the breath. Softening any rough patches, finding that deep, even, smooth, quiet, and continuous breath. Noticing the breath as it moves through the body, how it moves through the abdomen and the chest, how the sides of the body move with each breath. How does the back of the body move as you breathe? With your next inhalation, allow your awareness to find its way to the tips of the toes. The mind releasing and resting as you soften and settle each space mentioned. All 10 toes, both feet, your ankles, legs from the ankle to the knee, knees and all of the spaces that surround your knees, legs from knees to hips, glutes, low back, hips, low abdomen, center of your abdomen, releasing all the way to the base of the rib cage, sides of your waist, middle back, upper back, sides of the ribs, the entire chest, all 10 fingers, both hands, wrists, arms from wrists to elbows, elbows and spaces that surround your elbows, arms from elbows to shoulders, both shoulders, back of your neck and back of your head, sides of your head and sides of your neck, front of your neck and throat, chin, muscles around your mouth, your cheeks and jaw, spaces surrounding the ears, temples, all of the muscles around your eyes, sides of your nose, bridge of your nose, space between the brows, eyebrows, center of your forehead, your entire forehead, and the crown of your head. Allow your awareness to find the tips of the nostrils. Following the path of the breath, from the tips of the nostrils, the space between the brows or the center of the forehead and back. Have an awareness of the right side, feeling just the sensation of breath in the right side. From the tip of the nostril, the space between the brow and back. With your next inhalation, notice just the left side, from the tip of the nostril to the eyebrow or forehead center and back. Follow that path, just the left side. Begin to alternate nostrils. Your next inhalation, notice the right side. As you exhale, notice the breath leaving through the left. The inhale coming in through the left, noticing the exhale only on the right. Inhaling right, exhaling left. Inhale left, exhale right. Inhale right, exhale left, Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Return to natural breath. Softening and settling for a few more moments in stillness and reflection in this resting posture. With your next inhalation, begin to bring awareness back to the physical space. Begin by observing the support coming from the ground beneath you. Any warmth that may be present between your body and the mat. Have an awareness of your fingers and toes. Begin to get some movement into fingers and toes, wiggling them. Maybe you open and close the hands, getting movement into the hands. And as you continue to bring yourself back to the physical space, to movement and awareness, after being in that space of stillness and reflection, maybe you start to get more movement into the joints, rotating wrists and ankles. Maybe you bend at the elbows and then you allow the arms to fall alongside the body, flexing and extending. Maybe you bring the soles of the feet to the ground, knees pointing toward the sky, gentle swaying motion there, or not. Again, all just suggestions. You may wish to rock the head from side to side. When you are ready, allow yourself to pause in stillness for a breath or two. Then gently find your way to one side of the body, whichever side makes sense, whichever is natural to you. Using as little energy as possible, gently press up to a seated position on your mat. Or not, you can always remain in stillness, remaining in rest. Choosing to bring yourself back to awareness from that reclined position if you prefer. Wherever you are, let's allow the palms to come upright. Recall that intention that you set early on in your class. That intention that came from a space of stability and fluidity. If the meaning or some of the wording of that intention has changed, that's absolutely fine. That's that fluidity. Allow it to change with you throughout your day, throughout your week. Trying to carry it with you as you leave your mat today. With your next inhalation, bring that intention to heart center, stacking the hands at the heart, coming to Anjali Mudra, prayer hands at heart center. With your next exhalation, we'll allow the arms to sweep straight out in front of you and sweep out to the sides, even if you're lying down. Exact same movement. Inhale, hands find their way to or toward the heart. Exhale, clear that path of obstacles. Let's allow the fingertips to float down alongside the body. Inhaling as we bring the fingertips up toward the sky, palms come together. Exhale, hands sink down that center line. Allow them to float to the ground one more time. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down. And with our next round of breath, we'll close with Om. You're welcome to join me, or you can rest in stillness and simply breathe or opt out completely. I'll inhale to prepare. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today, for offering your time and your energy. May you be happy, healthy, and secure. Have inner peace, freedom, and love. Seal practice with a gentle forward fold, honoring ourselves and each other. Om Shanti Om. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so very much. I look forward to practicing with you again next time.